Hello, welcome to another edition of Top Sport on Premier Sport Fan Center. And tonight it's a full studio as I have with me Polo and Yemai to dissect everything football and not just football alone, all the sporting activities around the world. Good evening, Polo.
Yeah, good evening, viewers. Thanks for having me. It's been a while now, but it's great to be back to talk sport and talk sport again.
And also we have in studio Yemai, a Chelsea fan. Congratulations, you guys won the Club World Cup just
Yeah,
some days ago.
thank you. Don't mention. Thank you, thank you. It's something very sweet. Some clubs cannot relate. It's very difficult to relate to those kinds of things that you've not experienced. You know, experience
Best
is a
teacher.
very good, not just the best, but is a good teacher. Because sometimes experience can be a terrible teacher. So yeah. You can say that again. Chelsea to the world. Next up, Champions League, Premier League, all other competition.
Yeah,
Chelsea is coming.
you guys
And
can
Cole Palmer is still cool.
Yeah, you guys can always dream. It's always a pleasure having you guys in the studio. Let's kick start. Yes, we kick off today's shows on the eye. Cole Palmer is sucking it in the sunshine in St. Kitts, not just on vacation but connecting with his roots as he celebrates Chelsea's FIFA Club World Cup victory. This is his first ever visit to the island, home of his grandfather, Sterry Palmer. What does this Club World Cup win means for Cole Palmer's status at Chelsea and in the England future national team?
Yeah,
Squad.
I think that Cole Palmer now will be one of those guys that they want to rely on. You know, the trophy drought for the national team has been on for a while. And so they need big game players that can turn the game on by themselves. And where else? Cole Palmer. You see how he comes into big games. When you need him, look at that final against Betis. When he decided to play, Chelsea played.
And also against a PSG.
And also PSG, when he decided to take the game by himself, he took the game and look at what happened. And you see, the time Chelsea were struggling were the times that Cole Palmer was not coming in with the goodies. So you can build your team around him. He's a reliable player to some extent.
Paulo, we saw Cole Palmer against against PSG in the Club World Cup final. He was adjudged as the best player of the FIFA Club World Cup. Yes, some said it was a well-deserved one for the Chelsea player, though he started late in the competition. Yes, but looking at the English national team at the last Euro, which England got to the final, if I'm not mistaken, they struggled to find a starting position for him. Looking at Cole Palmer's growth right now, do you think he has done more than enough to merit a starting position in the English national team?
Well, it depends on the manager because if
Okay.
you look at at the last Euro, I think they have the former manager now talking about the Englishman that was let go. Southgate, yeah, despite them going to that competition, and you see, Kupama was actually in form also then. But I think at the beginning, it was even benching him throughout the group stage. I didn't think he actually started any game. He was coming on, and there were calls from different quarters that he needs to start starting them because you could see they were also struggling. Then, though they were winning, but they were struggling. But if you look at the England national team now, they have a new manager. Talking about the former Chelsea manager now, and Cole Palmer, based on his current form now, I think when the new manager wants to bring out his 11, you definitely see Cole Palmer starting. So it now depends on where is he going to start. That is the main issue now, because looking at the match against PSG, I think he played as the number 10 that day. And if you look at
I think he plays in through the wing that day.
no, it was
Played from the right
from
hand.
the right hand.
is it from the right hand
Yeah.
side?
Yeah.
So now that's where the issue is now. And with England, that means if he's going to play for, from the right hand wing with the national team, that means they have to bench Bukayo Saka. If he's going to play as the number 10, that means what's his name? The guy from the Real Madrid,
Bellingham.
We have to drop down. So it's going to be a very, very tough one for the manager. But
looking at the standard right from since he joined Chelsea, his growth.
Yeah.
Do you think he merits starting in the English national team?
Definitely, based on looking at the form, not just looking at he's in form. He has been in form, though he struggled towards the ending of last season. But overall, since he joined Chelsea, I think he has been. Nobody can argue down that he has not been Chelsea's best player. He has been. And for the English national team, I don't think there's any reason for them to bench him presently now, because he's a man in form. And looking at how he performed during the finals of the Club World Cup, everything he touched almost turns. In fact, we're turning to gold. So I don't think the English national team will drop him. I think he deserves a start in 11.
Okay, that is going to be an important edict for the English manager Thomas Tuchel when the English national team reconvene together for either of the World Cup qualifier or one of their matches. It's left to see. Fans really wants to see, is Cole Palmer going to be an integral part of the English starting 11? Let's talk about some personal heritage in shaping the mindset and motivation of young footballers today. We've seen a lot of young footballers tracing back to their heritage, even though they are playing for country of choice, but they are going back to their heritage. We saw Cole Palmer at the set kits, that is where his grandfather came from. We saw Abdoku going to Ghana. Even in Nigeria, we saw Alaba came home to Lagos. Even Saka, yes, they all trace back their heritage. And Karim Adeyemi is always known to coming back to Ibadan whenever during the off season. And talking about tracing the heritage, is it actually something welcome for the players?
Yeah, you when you're on a journey, you cannot forget your home. Your home will always be your home. Your home, you always be the first citizen. Wherever you go to, you always be the second citizen. So you see, one thing about this whole thing is, as a human being, it's not the best for you to forget your root. When you forget your root, it's easier for you to predict your future when you can, juxtapose from your history. Then you can predict your future. So it's very, very important that you don't forget where you come from, because it can hinder where you can get to. So I think that welcome development, the way it should be. And I hope one day they will listen to what Osimhen said, that if every player can actually represent the actual country that their parents are from, mostly father side, that football, you will see even the big countries of the world struggling. Especially, I don't want to mention one name of a country that wear blue.
But I think the beauty of it all is also, that freedom to associate and freedom to, also represent any country of your choice, as far as you are qualified to play for that country. But still on Chelsea, let's talk about Cole Palmer once again. Is it now Chelsea's most important player heading into next season? We saw it last season at a point when Chelsea was struggling. It was almost the same time when Cole Palmer was struggling. Is it looking like Chelsea is built around Cole Palmer now?
I think that Chelsea can struggle if Cole Palmer is not available. For me, the most important player in Chelsea now is Caicedo. It's not Palmer. Because when Caicedo plays, Neto can come up with the magic. Now there's Joao Pedro. There's other guys. Gittins is joining the fold. Those guys can be creative and do something up front. But the solidity of the team, the cohesion, the guy that is in charge, the engine room, the art. Look at what Enzo Maresca said. When the injury scare against Fluminense, he said they have to do all they can. That Caicedo must be in that fight. That's the most important Chelsea player.
Okay.
But Cole Palmer is very extremely important, but the most for me is Caicedo.
Okay, Paulo, we saw Chelsea play last season and finished in the 4th position. Also won themselves the Conference League and also the Club World Cup some days ago. Do you think Cole Palmer is more important than Caicedo in the Chelsea team?
Of course, I think Cole Palmer is the most important player presently now at Chelsea, because if you look at, like you rightly said, Chelsea, when Chelsea was struggling towards the ending of last season, Cole Palmer also was struggling, and you could see that Cole Palmer struggling and Chelsea struggling. That means that it's Cole Palmer that is actually carrying that team. I agree with him also that Caicedo has been very, very fantastic for Chelsea. But I think if you should remove Caicedo and put another player and you still have Kopama. As far as Kopama is in form, he will definitely give you the job. When you talk about Casado, it's just doing the defensive. It's all about winning the game now. It's not about just defending and you not getting those wins. If you are defending or doing the dirty and the team is not winning,
No.
you can't just say.
When you look
but
at
you talk about when it comes to winning, because what Kopama has been doing for Chelsea is winning games for Chelsea, and that is the most important thing.
when you look at the Chelsea setup, and you look at it very well, can Chelsea replace Kopama? Yes, with the current squad, based on the current squad.
I don't think so. I don't see any player now that
if Kopama
the current squad Chelsea have.
If Kopama is injured,
Yeah.
can Chelsea still win? Yes, they can. What percentage? Around 50 and above, because there are other guys that can do that job of getting goals. They can get the goals. What does Kopama do? He creates assists and he score goals. Other guys are there, they can do it. Yes, that doesn't take anything away from what Kopama does for us. But when you talk about Casado, see, the attackers, when you're on the field, if you're from the experiential part of football, if you have somebody that is solid behind you, that's where you can express yourself. That's what happens with the goalkeeper and the shield, which is number 4. Real Madrid suffered for almost 3 to 4 years or thereabouts when they lost Makelele, and they still had all those big names and they were still suffering. So one thing in football that people need to understand is that why did Man City struggle? Because Rodri was not around. And De Bruyne was playing now. There was even Haaland was there. Haaland too was scoring now. Why did they struggle? But when you look at the Chelsea setup, the heart of it, why didn't Chelsea remove Casado from the Conference League team? Why did they put Casado? Even when they removed Kopama, they still put him. He is the heart of that team. Kopama is the creator in chief. But when you talk about the defense, and everywhere in the country, family, everything, you need a defense. If you don't have defense, you don't have anything.
Okay, that's a strong one from here, my dear. And to the viewers, is Kopama Chelsea's new poster boy after the Club World Cup triumph? Let us know what you think in the comment section. We'll be in the comment section to see what you actually think about Kopama. Which is more important, is it Kopama or is it Moises Caicedo at Chelsea? Okay, moving on to the transfer talk. Strikers and stars and shock moves up. Next up is the transfer season's madness. Clubs are scrambling, players are in limbo, and rumors are flying. And let's dive into that. And the biggest one has to be Alexander Isak. Is he staying at Newcastle or is he moving to Liverpool?
I think he will stay. Newcastle has the richest owner. They have the richest owner in European football. So they can afford to look off from that 120 million.
What about PSR and FFP coming into play its game?
And they can think about that, but if you take Isak away, Isak almost single-handedly carried them last season. So Wilson didn't renew his contract. So they cannot afford to lose 2 forward at the same time. So we have to consider that too. Because if you look at it from just Isak perspective, they just lost Wilson. It's not wise for them to lose Isak. And it's not as if he's running into the final year of his contract. He still have extra 1 year. Which Hazard had 1 year, and Chelsea still got over 100 million. It depends on the competition coming for him. And when you look at it, there's every tendency that next season Madrid might go for a striker. And he's one guy that has played a lot in the Spanish La Liga. So I still think that he will stay this season. Then if he wants to move, if they don't convince him to extend, then he move next.
Okay, talking from the angle of a club, as a fan of a club who has struggled without a striker, and that is one of the main reasons why Arsenal struggled in winning something tangible at the front of it. Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a big miss for Newcastle should Isak join Liverpool?
Definitely, it's going to be a very, very, very big miss for them, because I don't see them, replacing Alexander Isak with any other striker that would definitely give them those number of goals. He has been giving Liverpool, Newcastle in the last 2-3 seasons. Take last season for example. I think he scored about 23 league goal, and it was one of the reasons why they made it to the Champions League, and them losing him now, it's going to be a very very big blow to their own ambition. They're in the Champions League, and for me, if I were Alexander Isak, I think I have to stay with Newcastle. Given the fact that they are also in the Champions League and they're also strengthening. Recently, they brought in Anthony Elanga, and they are trying to replace the Callum Wilson with the guy from
Ekitike.
So the deal might also, but for Newcastle, I think they should do everything possible to make sure they keep hold of Alexander Isak.
So we all agree that he is a vital member of the Newcastle side, and he is the most important player in the Newcastle side. Okay, moving on. What would Isak be the right striker profile for Liverpool under Arne Slot? Yes, they struggled with Darwin Núñez, and not also to the demise of the Liverpool Diogo Jota. So that void is being open right now. And do you think Isak will actually fit that position better?
I think there's no team in Europe that Isak will not play. It can be an out-for-out number 9. It can build up with the team. He's one unique striker that there are only few strikers like that now in the world of football. So I think that, Isak will be a great addition. For them to want to cough out £120 million to break the British record transfer fee, they know what they are trying to get.
Okay, lastly on Newcastle, Newcastle showing off that they are not interested in selling Isak. Is that a way of showing they are now a big club who won't sell their stars?
Of course, and that's how you make a statement, because if you should lose Alexander Isak now, I can assure you the coming season, players like Bruno Guimaraes will definitely leave, because when he looks at the team, if you could say somebody like Alexander Isak, what's stopping you from not selling Bruno Guimaraes also? And we know Bruno Guimaraes also, he has been a very very good player for Newcastle. There are a lot of teams that have been after him, but I believe because of Newcastle made it to the Champions League for the coming season, that is why there has not been a lot of attention on their players trying to move. Because most of those players, they will tell you want to play Champions League football, and now the club they are inside the Champions. I mean they've qualified for the Champions League, so they don't have any more reason other than now maybe wages, which I believe Newcastle can definitely pay those guys. So for Newcastle, I think the best way for them to remain very very relevant in the league and in the footballing world is for them to make sure they keep their best players.
Okay, but they're linked to Ugo Ekitike, as we said. But how do you think they're going to utilize these two men if they are keeping both of them, or if they're having both of them in the squad? Because they look like same profile to me.
No, a bit of a same profile, but one is a mature version of what the other can be. But the thing is, Isak can operate from the supporting striker. He can be the striker. Ekitike too can do the same thing. You can play 4-4-2.
So you see both of them starting.
It's possible. I think I've seen Alexander Isak and Wilson play together.
One thing is, Isak too, he has an injury history, but not that bad. But at least there are some games he won't be available most times. I've not seen Isak play a full season without going out injured.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's a long season, so they will keep interchanging.
Okay, we're on straight to the North London and Emirates, where we are going to talk about Ethan Nwaneri, who still loyal to Arsenal. How significant is this long-term commitment from a youngster like Nwaneri?
It's a very, very good one for Arsenal as a football club, and for Nwaneri also. I should still remember about 2 or 3 seasons ago when he made his debut in the league, becoming the youngest player to play in the Premier League, and it now took him again after about another season for us to start seeing him playing regularly, and you could see that with the right mindset, the right motivation from the manager, from the club as a whole, you see that this guy is definitely going to be a big one. So for us now losing this kind of player, it would have been a very very another sad situation, like when we allow what's his name now to join Manchester United, Chido Obi Martins, and the likes of Evan. Though Evan was sold, but the amount they had to sell him because
Chelsea.
And cool. So I think it's a very very good one for us now, and for the boy himself, because though he wants a playing time, and which I believe they've been able to convince him, because he's going to fight for his place now with
Martin Odegaard.
Martin Odegaard, yeah. He's going to play as the number 10, so I think he will definitely get
you're right. Yes, it's good on the paper for Arsenal that they are keeping one of their most promising assets in Ethan Nwaneri. We saw him in the couple in the few games they played last season. That yes, even at the age of 17 or 18, he is ready to play. But for how long can they, for how long can Arteta keep these young guys? We saw Dorman also, who is also interested in playing, more. He wants more playing time at Arsenal. They will surely be asking the questions that they want to play at this age. You would have seen the Barcelona young guy Lamine Yamal starting, game at the age of 16, 17, going full season, being one of the most important player at their club. So what do you think? What does this say about Arsenal youth policy or project under Mikel Arteta?
I think that I don't see where Arsenal will keep those guys for long. Because when you just brought in Madueke 5 years, and you look at Saka, those two guys are in the road and one area favorite position. I think one of the smartest things Arsenal did was to confirm that Skelly to extend his contract as soon as possible. But one area, I think he will still leave. Especially this coming season will be a very, very decisive season for him, because it's just because at this stage of his career he needs to play more for his value to rise, and if his value rise, he can get more wage, as in higher wage, personal times, and all those things. So I think that yes, he can stay now, because if he's on the last year of his contract, the club will not really profit much from his transfer. But I think that over time, not long from now, he will still leave, except if Noni or Saka didn't live up to expectations.
Okay, Paulo, this is a straight question. Do you think Nwaneri can become the next Bukayo Saka at Arsenal?
Definitely, and like I said earlier on, with the right guidance, from the club as a whole, he will definitely become the next big star, at Arsenal, and emulate Bukayo Saka. And like I've been saying for some time now, most people, for those young players, they just need to calm down and wait for their time. Their time will definitely come, because if you look at Bukayo Saka also, it started from a very, very humble beginning. We saw him starting from the left back, playing 10-15 minutes. Gradually, he was moved to the number 7, and in fact, even when they gave him the number 7 jersey, people were saying why he has not. But look at Bukayo Saka. He has been one of Arsenal's best players in the past 2-3 seasons now. So I think Nwaneri should just calm down, and his time will come. And when the time comes, he should grab it.
Okay, let's talk about him, moving to the national team. At the under-21, he was not an important player for England in their run to winning that competition. I think he was benched by Elliott, yes, who was actually pivotal for the England under-21 national team in winning that Euros. Now, in the senior national team setup, there is Noni Madueke, there is Bukayo Saka. Also, these are two players he's competing with in his club.
There's
and now, same in the national team, there's Cole Palmer also. And a couple of players coming out. Don't you think he should be thinking of the Super Eagles of Nigeria right now?
I don't think he will think of it. Because, see, one thing about those guys is a lot of them love the Three Lions. They love representing their national team. Even if it's 1 or 2 call-ups, they treasure it. But I think if he's smart enough, and see the pipeline, I think he should be switching allegiance. But the security in the fact that you represent the Three Lions is not the same thing as the Super Eagles. There's actually security once you are capped as a Three Lion. But those things are there too. So
I think there's also the pride of playing for your national team. So Nwaneri and the likes of Tosin Adarabioyo, I'd love to see them play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Too long. Yeah, we're still waiting for him to make his decisions. Just 27 is in the right peak of his career for a defender. For his central back, I think he's in the right peak of his career.
Maybe
okay, was Nwaneri is all right to stay at Arsenal, or should he have tested the waters elsewhere? Let us hear your view in the comment section. And still on Arsenal, we talk about Victor Gyökeres closing in on Arsenal. How does Gyökeres fit into Arsenal's attacking style? I'm talking about you, Paulo.
Well, That's another question, that would needs to be answered. And once it is confirmed that it's signed for us now. Though there are a lot of report that the deal has been agreed, but as far as it has not been obeyed, anything can still happen. Yeah, that's it for you.
Well, I think the last of us had a real striker had to be the likes of the time they had yes, when they had Aubameyang.
Yeah.
We've seen us now, had Thierry Henry, had the likes of Van Persie, had what's it called, Adebayor played for this club, and all of a sudden you just move to the likes of I watch Edward play for Arsenal.
I think it's about the managers. Arsenal had my playmaker Arteta, one of the manager that I don't think he really believes in a proper number 9. I think the fans are trying to, are the reason why he's pushing to make sure he gets it, because if you look at him, he believes that everybody can actually get those goals, and spread those goals around. But talking about Victor Gyökeres, I think if it comes to Arsenal, he's definitely going to get the goals and the service. I just hope it lives up to expectation, from where it's coming from, and get those goals. At least me myself, once it is confirmed that yes, I will definitely set a target for him. If he can, yeah.
Okay, you're right. Talking about Arsenal coming. Gyökeres, is it the striker Arsenal fans have been waiting for? Is it the one the Jesus they've actually been waiting for in that club?
Will it be their savior?
Will it be their savior?
I don't know yet, because we've seen big names jump ship. Look at Darwin Núñez coming from the same Portugal and got to the Premier League, and it was a black market. So I think that Arsenal is getting a good player that have experienced the English game, has gone to Sporting and has become a man. His game has improved. He can do a whole lot, but can Arteta find a suitable way that they will play to feed that guy and get the goals? Another question begging for answers. Will Arsenal get the deal over the line? Now, where they are at now is Arsenal is willing to play 63.5 guaranteed fee, and the 10 million add-ons Sporting is looking for.
They're saying it's not realistic.
Now, the add-ons Arsenal was bringing were difficult add-ons, but Sporting wants easy add-ons, maybe like number of games, highest goal scorer, finish. You get. So the issue there now is the strong point. Even the management of Gyökeres had to forfeit some percentage of the deal. Gyökeres had to forfeit 2 million of his salary, and Arsenal is still dragging.
It reminds me of the time they were chasing Raheem Sterling from Liverpool.
The thing is this: Arsenal is not a serious club. Honestly, this guy sacrificed his salary, and you are still dragging on the remainder of the deal. What is holding it? Dragging add-ons? When you look at all these things, you have to analyze it and see the seriousness of these things. See, when you know that you are suffering from... Look at Chelsea. Newcastle was dragging with João Pedro. Chelsea went in and got the man they need. Look, if not for João Pedro, we might not have won that Club World Cup. Because look at those clinical finish. Look at the final. Look at that finish. Look at the movement. So if you identify your man, you go there and get the man. That's how serious teams behave. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Arsenal, if not for the relationship between Chelsea and Arsenal, Noni Madueke won't be an Arsenal player till now. Well, because Chelsea only wanted 55. Arsenal was dragging, the good, my younger brother and all those things. And Chelsea just gave for 48 million. And see, this thing, I don't see Arsenal as a serious team yet.
Okay, so about talking about Gyökeres, I think there's a confirmation that he'll be having his Arsenal medical comes on Friday. So it looks like yes, both sides have been able to find that agreement that has been eluding them. So congratulations to Arsenal getting Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon, a formidable striker on his own. But what does this mean for the likes of Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz at Arsenal?
Well, Kai Havertz will definitely, play as this, go back to his wing, which is play as the number 8, and it means that he might be coming up from the bench now.
Because you have the plan, right?
Yeah,
he'll be coming up from the bench.
What's his name? There's even Mikel Merino. Also, so it means that he is going to, be playing more from the bench these days. And talking about Gabriel Jesus, I think they might let him go, but I'm not sure though because he's out injured now. So I just want, I wish Mikel Arteta will definitely keep all those players so that we can have a squad there because it affected Arsenal also towards ending of last season. At the time we were playing what's this name? There's this academy boy. If you look at Arsenal bench, in fact there was no any big name on the bench again. So I wish they can keep them, but at least allow player like Zinchenko to leave.
Score depth is very much important. So it's Victor Gyökeres, the final piece of the puzzle for Arsenal title ambition. So you can go to the comment section and tell us why you think about that. So straight to the Manchester Old Trafford this time around is Diego Douglas Luiz. That is United versus Everton in a tug of war for the former Aston Villa man who currently plays for Juventus in the Italian Serie A. How the mighty has fallen. Everton now dragging a player with Manchester United.
So very funny that there will be a time where a player will now be considering either to Everton or Manchester United. How the mighty has fallen. But yeah, it's one of those things in football. It's like a reality check. We saw Leeds go down. They've not really come up to who they used to be. But let's see if Man U will come back stronger. And yes, they need a serious overhaul. And they've only gotten one. 20-something days to the beginning of the league.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be very much careful because the players they want out are not, clubs are not coming for them. Jadon Sancho was only Juventus said they are only interested in paying £50 million. That is the highest they can go for Jadon Sancho. You have Garnacho who is still hanging on there. There's Rashford who is also still hanging on there. So they need to make some sales before they can, put down those money on buying players.
Well, they need to make some sales. The guy they were interested in, they put in a 70 million on Garnacho. Who will pay that for Garnacho?
And that's it, just to to make their PSR healthy.
But
that's what they're interested in right now.
But right now their PSR is close to 200 million.
It's
PSL
not,
gap, like the range, the amount they can still spend, and they're still okay. It's close to, I think, about 190 something or 80 something million, and they've only spent 60 on Kunha. So I think that they need to just try to maybe go into those South America and get cheaper players.
I think that is probably a better option. Sorry, Paulo. Which team suits on Douglas Luiz more? We saw him play at Aston Villa, though he has struggled at Juventus. Is it Everton rebuilds or United midfield overall? Where do you think he'll play better?
I think if it's about playing time, I think he's going to get a lot of playing time with Everton, because if you look at Everton, I don't think what's his name, Idris Aganage is better than him, and I think they'll be losing player like Abdoulaye Doucouré, if I'm correct. I think he's not with Everton anymore. So, but if it's about playing time, where the pressure won't be too much on him and where he's going to enjoy his football, I think it's Everton. But because if he should join Manchester United, they already have Manuel Ugarte and the likes of Casemiro, Kobe Maino, all of them, they can play that wing also. So there's going to be a lot of competition for him, and there will be a lot of expectation on him, because playing for Manchester United is not an easy team, to be honest. They're one of the biggest teams, if not the biggest in England, and the pressure that is going to be on him, coupled with the fact that Manchester United as a team, they've not been great lately, so there will be a lot of expectation on the team. But for Douglas Luiz, his move from Aston Villa to Juventus has not been a very, very good one for him, because he has struggled with playing time, and even when he was playing with Juve, he has not really, so now if you are to make a move, you look for a club that is going to suit you, at the same time get the playing time. And to me, I think it should be Everton, but it's all about the money. Can Everton afford to pay the wages and outbid Manchester United? I don't think so.
That is a big question. And what role would he realistically be playing at Manchester United?
Yeah, they need that central midfielder that will soak pressure and dictate the pace of the game. And he has experience. He did a lot of good job at Aston Villa, and at Juventus he has not been bad. So I think that will come in good for them. I think Ruben Amorim is cooking.
Let's see what Amorim is cooking in
No,
the
I'm
kitchen.
serious. When you see
The caliber of players.
when you see the way Man U is trying to handle their transfer, it's not about getting 20. It's about getting somebody that's not like, for example, Eric Ten Hag, bring him in. This one, bring him. No, they are very picky with their targets now.
And they are being linked to Nicholas Jackson also.
Yeah, they are being linked. It's just one of the players they shortlist. Not that they really, maybe worst come to worst, they don't have any other choice. And one thing a lot of Chelsea fans need to understand is Nicolas Jackson has a fantastic build-up.
Yeah, and the potential is there.
He gets into position.
I think you actually get better, playing and training with
Liam
quality players.
There's competition now for him, and that's why Chelsea said it's not for sale. Chelsea said it's not for sale because
investment, 2 years
the
of
two
investment.
number 9 is Liam and Jackson. João Pedro is just a forward that can play anywhere across the line. And with the fact that Gittins is the only left winger we have, João Pedro can play there too. Jackson too can play there. But Liam Delap is the only out number 9.
I think the Chelsea manager will actually be using João Pedro more the same way Hansi Flick is using Rafinha, utilizing Rafinha, playing across the line, free roll across anywhere on the
And
wing.
he can also do the job Isak is doing at Newcastle. You see that is why Newcastle was on his heels. He's one player that can play like Isak. He can grow to become another Isak.
Okay, back to the Douglas Luiz discussion. You can go to our comment section and tell us would Douglas Luiz thrive better at Manchester United or Everton. You can drop your comment in our comment section. And straight to the champions, the defending champions of the EPL, the current champions, anyway you love to say, the race of Liverpool. We'll talk about the ambitious shortlist: Rashford, Watkins, Wissa, Osimhen, Ekitike, and Isak are all being linked to Liverpool as it stands. How realistic are these targets for Liverpool under Arne Slot's system?
I think for Liverpool, I think Isak is far-fetched as far as I'm concerned. I don't think they will get him. But I think that they can get either, because they have the financial money.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not really going for Osimhen.
Yeah, they can get Ekitike or probably Osimhen. But they might have an issue with Osimhen, you know what? Napoli wanted Darwin Núñez. They did what Napoli used to do to other teams. They were like frustrating.
But it's easy for them to get. I think even that Darwin Núñez and Osimhen swap will have been better. Because yes, they'll easily get 40 million from Napoli for Darwin Núñez.
No, they were expecting in excess of 60 to 70 million
seriously?
for Darwin Núñez. Yes.
All right.
So they were expecting 60 to 70 million for Darwin Núñez.
I think 40 is realistic.
And when they put forward the deal of exchange with Osimhen, Napoli was still asking for an humongous amount for sign-on fee plus Darwin Núñez. So I think that Napoli is not ready to shift goalposts. But one good thing about the Osimhen issue is that there's a buyout clause. So even if the club doesn't like it, the buyout clause is out in the media. So you can just go there, pay the buyout clause, and Napoli will have no choice. The only reason Galatasaray is dragging is that they are not ready to pay the clause the way Napoli it is stated in the contract. If Liverpool goes in and attacks the way they attacked against Florian Wirtz, they will get to Osimhen. And I think that Wissa too, Brentford will frustrate them. Brentford will not want to lose two key men up front in the transfer window. Brano already said he's leaving. They just lost their manager. Too many uncertainties in the Premier League. They don't want to get relegated.
They also lost Nosgard, so Arsenal.
So the two guys that I think that Liverpool can easily go. 3. Number 1 for me is that Ekitike. But if they are willing to cough out, take a risk on a youngster that is not proven yet, with that, and they will pay more for Ekitike than Osimhen. Number 2 is Osimhen. Buyout clause is there, very clear. Osimhen wanted, if they can pay him,
and he actually wants to move to the EPL.
Yes, but with the amount he's looking for, if they can pay him that salary, fine. Then brings in Watkins. Aston Villa needs money.
But the age, 29.
But the age is not on his side. But another player that is also on the short list is Rashford. And you know that Man U and Liverpool, they are water and fire. They don't want to see each other. So I think the best bet on this list, experience, proving everything, number 1 is Osimhen.
Okay, Paulo.
But number 2 is Ekitike.
Okay, Paulo, we've seen the list as aligned there by Yemaite. Which of those names fit Liverpool identity and the needs the most right now?
Well, probably I will still say Victor Osimhen and Alexander Isak. That is if they can get him. But Alexander Isak will be the best because he has played in the league.
Like they will get Isak.
Yeah, but I don't think so. You know why I'm saying Liverpool will not get him? I don't think Liverpool will be able to bring out another 120 million after.
They are the defending champions.
They've already.
No.
You don't know where the transfer issue is.
They have a rich one.
They already emailed Newcastle their intention to pay 120 million yesterday morning. 120 million confirmed. But Newcastle now are not willing to sell.
I hope it's true, but I don't think Liverpool can afford that because if you look at, they've spent, even without Alexander Isak presently, they spent close to 2 something already.
No. They didn't spend last summer. So
I understand. It doesn't matter if they didn't spend last season or not. But at the same time, you know they still have wages to pay also. And if you are bringing Alexander Isak, you also consider the wages. The amount is going to be paid also. That's one.
You know that now for Liverpool,
the main issue also.
They have a plus. It's not as if they will have a loophole for Diogo Jota too.
No, but that's still paying. They're paying
the family will be seen as CSR.
He's out of the contract.
He's out of, but it will be seen as CSR.
Yeah, like, but it's still from the club team's account.
What I'm saying is this: when they go to court and when they spell it out, it will be counted under CSR. Not really about the ingoings and outgoing inventory and stocks and all those things. So when you look at the way it is, they know that they have to replace it because he died. Unforeseen circumstance. So that will help them in their PSL and FFP threshold. So I think that, see, this is not about if. They already emailed Newcastle of their willingness to pay 120. You are saying if they don't have the money, they won't send that audacious. That's an audacious bid. After spending 116.5, I think, on Wits, and they want to break it again in the same transfer window.
Well, for me, I think Liverpool just have to take it easy because you cannot spend. No.
They want to remain relevant. They are not Arsenal.
They are relevant. It's not about not remaining. They are the defending champion. As far as they are defending champion, yeah, I understand. Everybody wants to stack up the team. But what I'm trying to say is that why I said they have to just take it easy is that now you've brought in someone in the region of 116 million. Is it pounds or euro now? And I don't think Liverpool have spent close to 100 million, pounds on any player before. And now you that player have not even played a match. You are trying to break another record, bring it. And what's the guarantee now that Florian Wirtz will definitely make it at Liverpool?
What's the guarantee Gyökeres is going to make it?
That is what I'm saying now. You look at Gyökeres now and Florian Wirtz. They are different. They are not playing the same wing, and there's possibility. When we were talking about Gyökeres earlier, I said something. I hope he live up to expectation. You understand? Same for Florian Wirtz also. I just feel Liverpool just needs to take it a bit easy. But if you ask me, like the question asks, who is going to suit Liverpool the most? I still think Alexander Isak will do definitely, and at the same time, Victor Osimhen also.
Okay, yes. Let's leave if and when the players comes around to these clubs. Okay, is Liverpool trying to find a new Mane-like attacker in the sport?
No, I
or
don't
they are
think
just looking for
there's.
a in striker?
And the way Arne Slot plays is quite different from
The way
Klopp.
Jurgen Klopp.
If it was Klopp, they would be looking for another man. When Klopp was there, they already got another type of man, Luis Diaz. And now Luis Diaz is even
It's
wanting
even been linked to
yeah, he wants. He's
Bayern.
open to leaving Liverpool. But with the way Arne Slot plays, I think he needs more of like Isaac kind of player, Osimhen kind of player that can actually switch positions, go in, running behind, running between the lines, break defense lines and all those things. So I think that they are not looking for another man.
Get to the comment section. Which of these 5 forwards will you love to see at Liverpool? Rashford, Watkins, Wisa, Osimhen, or Ekitike? Let us know in the comment section. And straight still on Manchester United. And let's say Manchester United seems to be in trouble behind the scenes. Reports suggest Anthony, Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, and Malaysia have all asked to leave the club this summer. It's just the beginning of a crisis.
No, it's not a crisis. From last season, we already know those names are going. Many of them spent the latter part of the season on loan.
Yeah.
So Malaysia was on loan, Rashford and Sancho was on loan. And so I think that is something expected. And it's very good. See, don't keep a player that is not happy. That's one of the things I love about what Chelsea did with Nani. He wanted to leave. Let him
There
leave.
you go.
That's just it. And even Nkunku, I expect them to let him go too, because Nkunku now in the Club World Cup now looks like a different because he's not playing number 9.
Yeah.
So Chelsea really messed up his position. That was why he was struggling. It got to a time even Enzo Maresca had to come out in the press and say Nkunku is not a striker, that is actually a playmaker. Someone like Kopama, but you can't bench Kopama.
Okay, and still Manchester United, Paulo, what's going on at United that is pushing so many young stars out of the club? Are they not ready to compete, or it's ego?
No, not really. I think many of those guys is discipline issue. Garnacho, Rashford, discipline.
Anthony.
Malaysia injuries. Anthony, not really discipline, is performance. So I think that of those players, I still think that Anthony most likely might stay, because Man U will not be willing to get nothing less because of their PSR. They got him for 100 million. So they won't want to budge. And Antonio can come good with what he did at Betis. He just needs a proper aligned team that has a direction. Will just fit him, be one of the puzzles.
Okay, do you think Manchester United should be giving Anthony a second chance?
Well, I don't think so. They should, to me, but I don't think he will be getting it. Why? Reason is that you have Ahmad who can play there, and now you are bringing on Mbeumo, who mostly plays from that. And if you are getting another striker now, that means Mbeumo will not be playing as the number 9. He will be shifted to the right hand side. That is where Anthony comes with. But
Mbeumo can play on the left. He can play on 8, number 8.
You have Koura also.
They're even playing more with Bruno Fernandes as 8 these days. Koura plays as the 10.
You have Koura.
He can play on the left.
On the left? No. Mbeumo is more suited to the right. If he's
to
not
the
playing
right.
on the right, he's playing as a 9.
Mbeumo is suited to the right. So that is, but I still feel that you.
But they've not gotten Mbeumo.
Yeah, they'll surely. I think Anthony might just be the last option for them.
Definitely, but I still feel they will get.
But Anthony is not going to leave.
I still they should just allow him to still be with the team at least from now to before the next window.
Okay, moving straight to Amorim. Yes, is it losing control of the dressing room, or this is a boardroom failure? Because you see these players, Garnacho. This is a player we all thought was going to be a world-class player. Though the potential is still there, we can't write him off at the age of 21. And the likes of Antonio, we saw Antonio at Ajax, we saw him at Real Betis, where he lit up the La Liga, though not really much goals, but we saw the value when he was playing for Real Betis. And what has really been the problem? Elanga left Manchester United, and we're seeing him going to join in Newcastle for over £50 million. That is a gain to Nottingham Forest, who took the risk. So where is the problem for? Where's the problem at Manchester United? Is it the manager or the backroom?
I think that is the institution. They really got, as soon as Ferguson left, they went the wrong route. They were more of the profit than raising the standard of the club. Ronaldo complained about still knowing his way around. when he came back after I think how many years, 9 years or thereabout. That is not should be what should. New owners came to Chelsea. They are already discussing building another stadium. It is the structure on ground, build, discipline, all those. See, you can be the best player in the world if you don't have the requisite discipline. You won't get to the level you should get to, and it is very important, very very important. To me, I've seen reports and all that show that the discipline level in Manchester United is not up to the way it should be. And I think that has to do more too with the body language of the owners. So they need to pass the right message. You can't do what Garnacho did. After the final, the club is hurting. You lost the final and you went to post that you only given 20 minutes. You cannot be thinking about yourself alone when the club is hurting. It is irresponsible. So you have to look at it. See, it is first attitude. Bring everything in. Because if he does this or you overlook it, other players will do it. They will cite Garnacho example. But when they penalize him, they see the way he's frozen out of the team and that they won't take this. They first need discipline. If Man U is disciplined, you will see that even they will beat some average team and get to top 10. But for them to get over the edge, maybe for Champions League, is when they need higher qualities. They need discipline in that team. And that's why I'm in support of those who they want out.
Okay, lastly, to you, Paulo, should Manchester United cash in and rebuild around a new core set of players?
Well, they definitely need to cash in on some of those players we've mentioned here.
Do they have value?
That is, they do. They have because if you look at those players, they are still they are very young. You know, when it comes to football, age. What's his name again? The 21 years. Garnacho, 21 years. Rashford is still 26, 28, and Antonio also. 24, 25, and other guys also. But Jadon Sancho also. But the problem is that Manchester United, when it comes to them selling players, I can't remember the last time they sold any player above 50 million.
When was last time Arsenal sold the player above 35 million?
Probably, Alex. It's been a long time.
Both of you are in the same table.
Yeah,
and
I don't think Arsenal has ever sold any player above
35 million.
I think they sold Chamberlain. And if you look at it, I think the reason for maybe Arsenal and Man U at times is probably when it comes to the wages.
I love the way you put it.
Wages.
You have to marry. You have to marry both of them.
The wages. You look at the kind of crazy wages they give to those players. You see Rashford. Why Rashford is struggling?
I think that's one of the reasons why they're even struggling to sell this
Rashford.
Guys.
That is the reason.
Jadon Sancho, Chelsea offered to give him £180,000 weekly.
Well,
and they rejected. He was on 350 at Manchester United.
If you were the one, will you accept?
That is what I'm.
Was he worth 350k?
If you were Sancho, will you accept?
No, with him failing at Manchester United.
If you were Sancho, will you accept?
Okay, Juventus is going to now. Are they going to pay him 350?
But they will still pay more than 180.
But the amount that will get him from Man U, okay,
that's why they reduced it to 15 million.
Yeah, that is where Manchester United, have to accept any amount just for them to, make sure that it's no longer on their own books.
Okay, so to the viewers, Manchester United headed for a full-blown exodus this summer. Who should stay or go? Sound off in the comment section for us. It's always a pleasure having you guys in the studio. I can't have more time for us to discuss football and sports around the world.
And there's a breaking news that Inter is actually interested in Ademola Lookman. Also, Atletico to looking to offload one of their forward for him. And there are links that it might also be of interest to Barcelona too. Maybe in the pipeline. So let's see how those ones will work.
Talking about Barcelona, Lamine Yamal has been confirmed as the new number 10 at Barcelona. So it's always a pleasure having you guys in the studio as we close off this night. Okay, that's it for this episode of Talk Sports on big players, big moves, and big questions. Make sure to subscribe, like, and join the conversation in the comment section. We'll be reading your takes on all topics. So we come your way again. It's bye for now.